6 strategies to deal with stress in the workplace. We all experience stress. It would be strange actually if we would not be experiencing stress at all. We need a decent amount of stress to go about life and actually find things thrilling and enjoyable and sometimes even a bit frightening. But if you're having too much stress for too long of a period of time, you can actually run into a burnout situation. But again, we need a bit of stress, but we need to learn to dose it. So what I'm going to share today are 6 strategies for you to apply in your daily life so you can still enjoy the benefits of stress, but you master it instead of you being subdued to it and it's taking control over you. The first strategy is setting boundaries. You can't expect people to respect your boundaries if there are no boundaries. So first and foremost, it's on you to decide when you want to do what. I personally like to build a list of things that I need during the day or the week. So there could be things like going to the gym, walk outside, listen to music, read. And when I plan my day or my week, I make sure that those things are prioritized first and foremost. And if that means, for instance, having dinner at 6 and somebody wants to have a meeting at 6, I will not take that meeting because I need to think about my health and being, able to eat on time when I want it and when I need it is obviously super important to keep the engine running. But it also goes for other things like working in the weekend. If you're fine with that and it's part of the culture, then be my guest. But I'm quite certain that it's not really necessary and you should keep the weekend as it has been designed as a time to be off and enjoy other things in life than work. So strategy number 1, super important, set boundaries. Again, if you don't set boundaries, people will cross everything there is to cross, and it's on you to first design those boundaries for you. The second strategy is about time management. Efficient and effective time management. I like to go about and see the tasks that I need to do, if they're important or not important, and urgent and not so urgent. And of course I focus on those that are important and urgent first. I make sure I allocate enough time for them, and if there are large in terms of size what needs to be done, I cut them down in smaller chunks and plan those accordingly. If I apply proper time management, it gives me much more tranquility during the day. I feel less stress. You can imagine if your time management is out of the window, you can experience a lot of stress because things will happen during the day and your inbox will probably control what you will be doing instead of your planful mind that had a strategy for the day. So time management is not just about the urgent and not urgent and important, not so important tasks. It's also sticking to a certain plan. If I need to do something by the end of the day, I will make sure I have it ready by lunchtime. It gives me a lot more tranquility and peace of mind when I have done something before the deadline instead of waiting for the deadline to arrive. Time management and proper time management can help you feel less stress. And I know some people actually find it stressful to design and planning, but it needs to become a habit. And the only way to start a habit of planning is actually by start doing it. So I would advise next morning, get a pen and paper or do it digital if you want to. Plan the day how you want to evolve it instead of, trying to see how other people want you to have done the day. The third strategy is all about taking breaks. I hope and expect that you will at least take a break to get some lunch. But are you stepping away enough from the desk? Are you taking time to zoom out and be mindful of what you're doing? Taking 6 breaks of a couple of minutes it's for sure more advisable than one long break of, like an hour or so. So make sure that every hour actually you have a couple of minutes where you step away from the desk and not be doing some work. You need to zoom out. It's like watching a widescreen television through a straw. If you keep watching that television through the straw, what you see is super clear, but you don't see the bigger picture. Stepping away from the desk helps you to see the bigger picture. If you take a break, make sure that you disengage from work. Go outside for a couple of minutes, take a short walk, or read a book, or I don't know, make a puzzle. Make sure you disconnect for a couple of minutes from work before re-engaging again. You will feel much more refreshed, with more focus and determination. The fourth strategy I want to highlight is finding healthy coping mechanisms. Taking drugs or alcohol is for sure a coping mechanism, but I wouldn't call it healthy. Yes, it will numb and it will have you experience less stress, but it doesn't make the stress go away. So coping mechanisms are ways to deal with the stress that's there. You don't ignore it like you would do with drugs and alcohol, but you try to find ways to deal with it. So what are some examples of more healthy coping mechanisms? Exercise, work out, take a walk outside and take your mind off of work are proven mechanisms to deal with stress and experience less stress. Sleeping, prioritize the quality and quantity of sleep above anything else. A good night's rest will do wonders for your mind and body. So you need to prioritize sleep. Maintaining a healthy and balanced diet, whatever that means for you. If you put the right fuel in your body will thank you for that. And again, for everybody that means a different thing, but for me that means a lot of vegetables, fish. I stay away from meat and things that are heavy on the body like sugar. I do like a good piece of chocolate once in a while, and I think it's also healthy to do that. A combination with nuts or peanuts. Again, everybody has their own way of finding a balanced diet, but it's super important. And actually, when you found the right fuel for your body, in terms of composition, don't change it too much. Because it's like, running a car. If you find the right petrol and the car works perfectly and the engine performs, why would you keep changing the type of fuel you put into it? So make sure you find healthy coping mechanisms to deal with the stress that is inevitably there. The fifth strategy, seek help. Whether it's a colleague you trust, or a mentor that could help you, or a coach, or there is probably an employee assistance program or a manager. Talking to other people about your concerns will help providing you with perspective. You can offload your mind and concerns by actually talking to that other person, and you might get practical solutions. But it's so important not to keep your emotions and thoughts with you, especially when it's about stress. Because you cannot expect others to help you or understand the situation you're in if you're not sharing the situation you're in. So first and foremost, reach out to the people around you and ask help. I have seen so many examples where people thought they would get a cold shoulder or that they would not be hurt, but when they finally start sharing their concerns and the situation they were in, they were only met with love and attention and understanding. And it actually helped them to get out of the situation much sooner and also lowered the stress. Just venting on its own already works miracles, let alone if you would talk to people who actually understand you even better, what you're going through, and help them understand where you are and what you need, and perhaps they can help you further. But I promise you, just offloading by talking about it already makes a difference. Coming to the last strategy, which I find the most important one because I was not good at it. It's practicing self-compassion. I used to be an overachiever, perfectionist, had high standards, high expectations about myself, the people around me, and always wanting to push and raise the bar. And of course it brought me a number of things, but putting yourself under pressure and stress while you're already experiencing stress is just accelerating the burnout. So you need to be kind to yourself. You need to be acknowledging what you have achieved and accomplished. And although it's below your standards, it's probably way more than what you see around you and the average. So instead of beating yourself up, be nice, be kind to yourself. Take a breather. Again, be grateful for where you are, what you have achieved and have accomplished, and be proud of that. Because when your battery is low, the last thing you need is draining it even more by pushing yourself further and further. Take time, reflect, recover, rest. Because your personality is your personality. So when you're recovered, you might be fine again by going after those ambitious goals. But right now, you need to protect yourself, your body and your mind. With that, look after yourself and look after each other.